Hi guys, Alberto here. You're watching the Bedroom Rocker YouTube channel, and today we're taking a very good look at the Viscous Vibe effect within the TC Electronic Plethora X1. Let's start by taking a quick look at the specs. I'm going to show you the recording setup, a bunch of sound samples, and including a run through all the possible settings in the TonePrint Editor App, and finally move on to the review part. So grab a drink, sit tight, and let's go. The Viscous Vibe attempts to recreate the classic sound of the Uni-Vibe from the 60s. It has the original chorus and vibrato modes, but it also has much more than that. You have the entire TC Electronics modulation arsenal at your disposal, so you could, for example, add a flanger to your Uni-Vibe, which is quite cool. You also have stereo ins and outs, and you have the mesh foot switch, which can be used to control any of the parameters, for example, the Uni-Vibe speed or the depth, which also can be quite nice. Then comparing the X1 version of the Viscous Vibe with the standalone pedal version, the only removal is the Q Dry switch. So with the X1 you can still set the Q Dry as a global option, but not at the effect level. So that's a bit annoying. I think this is especially useful if you want to create some more different effects by killing the drag guitar sound, or if you're going to use this in a parallel effects loop. But otherwise, for the Uni-Vibe effect itself, I don't think that's a big negative. The guitars today are the Fender Baja Telecaster and the Gibson Les Paul Custom. They are plugged into my pedal board with the Plethora X1 and then hit the front end of the Victory V40 amp, which is loaded down using the 2-note torpedo capture. I'm then using the simulation of a 2x12 cabinet loaded with Celestion Naunico Blue speakers. For the two last sound clips, including the rundown through the TonePrint Editor App, I'm plugging the Plethora straight into my audio interface, using the stereo out into the two inputs of the audio interface, and then I'm using the 2-note Genome software with the simulation of a cleanish Fenderish amp, and I have the same amp with the same settings on the left and on the right side, so all stereo effects that you are hearing arise from the Plethora Viscous Vibe effect. So let me know your thoughts on the Viscous Vibe effect within the Plethora X1. Overall, it did a great job recreating those classic Uni-Vibe tones, also paired really nicely with distortion and fuzz. And I think it's also great to see that the X1 version of the effect actually came quite close to the original standalone pedal, except for the Q-Dry switch. And this was not the case, for example, for the Infinite Sample Sustainer that I reviewed 2 weeks back. If you're looking specifically for a Uni-Vibe effect, for like classic Uni-Vibe sounds, I think there are probably better and cheaper options out there. I have here, for example, the Japanese Butter Roll Vibe by Effects Bakery, which is a great and quite affordable, simple Uni-Vibe. I'll be also very curious to try the new 69 Vibe by Behringer. But of course, the Viscous Vibe has way more options, way more tonal shaping capabilities, and the X1 obviously has a bunch of other effects that you can have besides the Uni-Vibe. So I think it's still a very solid option to consider. So that's all for today. I really hope the review was helpful and fun to watch. If that's the case, make sure to leave it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more Plethora videos, I have a whole playlist linked down in the description box down below. And if you like gear, guitar, bass, amp, and effects videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay tuned for future videos. Also, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to support the Bedroom Rocker YouTube channel, make sure to check my affiliate links in the description box down below. If you use them to buy anything, I earn a small commission, and this really helps me to get additional products for making reviews like this one at no additional cost for you. So keep on rocking and cheers.